Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
With eyes wide open. Welcome to the place.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Don't try it till you've had it. This is episode 104 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me each week are
Timo Meier's number one fan, Stephen Wojtowicz.
Ron Hextall's brain dead. I'm guess I'm his fan. Bill Foucher.
Timo Meier.
Timo Meier's on the show.
I'm on the show.
This is
it's
amazing.
Not even impressions with Nick yet. Oh,
where did your accent go?
We're starting with impressions with Nick.
What accent are you talking about?
He's not German. He's from
I don't know.
Switzerland.
Steve,
Oh,
everybody's
God damn it.
German, Steve.
It's about the
Every-
same.
For Nick, everybody is.
Nick, if Nikita
Every
Kucherov
impression
is
Nick
Irish,
does.
then everybody's German.
It's fucking great. I love being on the Devils.
Did they announce the Timo Meier trade yet?
We're still not sure what's coming back.
Jesus Christ! What? I mean, they have to have it first. They have to be the first guy.
It's if you're not first, you're last in that world, right? I mean, that's the insider needs to be the first. That's why people follow them.
There are what 4 or 5 true hockey insiders, right? Yeah, Ellie Friedman, Darren Drager, Frank
Weeks.
Saravelli.
Weeks.
I didn't even count Kevin Weeks, but you're right. And who's the other the short fat guy with the mustache, likes the Cowboys?
That's Bill.
No,
Cowboy. No, he's
I'm
not a Cowboys fan.
not like
Sorry.
the Cowboys.
I'm not short. I don't have a you only picked out the word fat and went with me. None of the rest of that described me at all.
We're
Hey, what's that guy's name?
Oh, shit.
Who's the other
I know
guy?
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the short fat guy.
Short fat
Cowboys.
guy likes Cowboys. I know his face. LeBron?
Right. What is it?
Pierre LeBrun.
Pierre LeBrun.
LeBron.
Thank you.
LeBron
And
James.
and Kevin Weeks. Did I miss anybody?
There's somebody else I was thinking about. Can't.
Well,
McKenzie.
Shayna Goldman's been really
Yeah,
good.
Bob McKenzie.
McKenzie's
Well,
still kind of
McKenzie-
around. He's kind of
McKenzie's
retired,
more
but
the draft guy. He's more the
Yeah,
guy.
he hears things sometimes.
Shane,
but-
Friedman, Elliot Friedman's.
Yeah,
He's on the
I
list.
led with him. But I think
Shayna.
Shayna Goldman. Yeah, Shayna.
she was the
Shayna's
one.
been dropping
She
balls.
was the one that was really early on this one. She was
Yeah.
the
She had
insider
the
that had the
return.
details. Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the first ones that have to return. So when they, but even they're doing it. They want to be the first one to tell people, so they get all the credit. But
Of course.
then it's 3 hours. It was long. Was it longer than 3 hours?
It
last
was
time?
longer
Like,
than 3 hours.
oh my
Yeah.
God. I hate
It was
the
a
deadline just
complex
because of that.
deal.
What was so complex about it?
I think Holtz was part of the deal, and they didn't like the injury, so they took him out.
They didn't
Or-
like the
or-
injury and the fact that he's 20 years old.
And San Jose said, "Take him. We don't want him." I don't know.
So they said, give us Andreas Johansson.
I don't know.
Because that's better.
I don't know the specifics. That's what I think. I'm not an insider.
Well, look, it's been a long time since I've seen a 9-player deal in the NHL. I mean, obviously it was centered around Timo Meier. And then you got Scott Harrington, Santorini.
I wouldn't even go further than Harrington.
What the fuck is that guy's name?
The other guys are all AHL, ECHL players. So I wouldn't even go further than Harrington.
Was all that just to make like room for like for roster
They
reasons?
were at the maximum number of roster players before the deal. Yeah.
There you go.
So the
Yeah.
San Jose Sharks get Andreas Johansson, the center for the 76ers.
Shakir he's a defenseman, but
Sure,
okay.
Sure.
2020
Nikita
first-round pick,
Oka, not going to
Yeah.
play here no more. Fabian Zetterlund, a 2023 first-round pick, a conditional 24 first-round pick, and a 24 7th-round pick. What was the condition on the 24?
Eastern Conference Final.
Oh, okay.
They got to make it to the
Second?
Eastern Conference Final in either year, 21 or 22.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Oh,
23 or 24. And Meyer's got to play 50% of the games.
well, all righty then.
I mean, if he doesn't play 50% of the games, they don't have a chance. So
The whole hubbub and why it took so long was because the values were way too high, right?
well,
I don't think this is a lot at all. This is something that every
I
team
don't-
can do, and in fact,
again, I don't think
probably
this
teams could
is
have beat this.
I don't think this was the package the whole time. I think Fitzgerald
minute.
negotiated the package down to this.
What after he said that the Canes are out and Vegas is out?
Yes, I would bet. Sure. Where's San Jose's bargaining power there?
Look, before Greer did that, I'm sure that the deal was agreed upon, and then
No,
prior
they
to this
wanted
deal,
Mercer.
Vegas traded for Barbashev at like noon during the day yesterday. So the Golden Knights knew they weren't a player, and obviously we don't know what their package was. But man, I thought the package coming back to San Jose would have been a lot better than that.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's just depends how you view those prospects, right? I mean, the first and second, they're still first and second. I mean, they're not going to be super high picks by any means, unless, Devils, don't do well
In
in
that 18, 19, 20 range.
playoffs. Yeah, but they
right?
should be. I mean, it's not nothing. It's a lot to give up. Now, was Timo not going to resign there? I mean,
he's got a
an
$10 million
RFA, right?
qualifying offer.
Yeah, he's still an RFA. So I mean, all the hubbub around him, like them having to have a deal in place. I didn't understand all that because he's an RFA. They'll make it happen. They'll sign him.
Yeah.
He would still get big time trade value because he's not a UFA. He'll get if for some reason it didn't work out, they would get almost equal value. No, I mean not exactly, but they would probably get a first back or something prospect. But I mean, listen, Holtz didn't go, which everyone thought it was around.
Yeah. I mean, you
So how do you feel?
kept your top four, 3 or 4 prospects.
Yeah. So how do you feel as a Devils fan of this? 'Cause
Oh,
this is kind of like what I wanted to see.
Stolen.
Still-
Absolutely. Hands down. I will miss Setterland because he's an energy player, but he's replaceable very easily.
Agreed.
Yeah. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. Okotuk was a physical player,
What's
but
his name?
replaceable.
What's his name?
Okotuk. Mukhamadullin, who knows what he's going to be when he comes over to North America, completely different ice size and different game. He was, they were like the 3rd and 4th defensive prospects on the list. So to give them up is not a real loss.
Like that's crazy to me is that was what I read too, is that most Devils fans were like, what the fuck? Like, how did we not lose the guys that are the first and second?
Holtz, Hughes, or Nemec, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, Hughes, Nemec, they seem to be off the
They should have
off the
been
list.
from the get-go.
Mercer seemed like everyone was like, he's got to go in the deal, and that would seem not smart to trade him out.
I wouldn't have wanted, I definitely wouldn't have
Right.
wanted to see him go.
It wouldn't have felt like a move to make you better, but this seems pretty good.
So
Pretty,
who are the
pretty.
cap casualties after Meyer gets re-signed by the Devils, which all accounts you're not
Wood.
making this deal probably unless you have likes of re-signing him.
Wood,
So-
Blackwood, and Severson.
Okay.
And that gets you not only Meyer, but enough room for Brad as well.
Correct. Yeah, because look, there has been a lot of talk today about the Devils not being able to re-sign Bratt and Meyer. There's plenty of money.
There's plenty
to
of
sign
room.
both of them.
Plenty of room.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna lose probably somebody else too on top of those 3 guys. Maybe not Ryan Graves, because he might be too much. He might get too much on the open market.
Unless he's willing to take a little discount to
But
stay part of the
you're right.
team.
You're right, but does it really matter when you're going to bring in Hughes and Nemec next year?
Yeah,
to
he's a
replace
different
Severson
kind
and
of player.
Graves?
He's a different kind of player. Graves is completely different than Hughes or Nemec.
Yeah. So Timo Meier will meet the Devils in Denver tomorrow, and they will play the Colorado Avalanche on, was it Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday. Now I
Wednesday.
doubt he's going to play Wednesday. because he's still day to day.
still hurt,
He had
right?
an injury. He's still day to day. Outside chance Vegas on Friday. I would think, if not that, definitely Sunday at Arizona.
Give him a cookie in his first
And
game.
I
agree.
love
Easy, man.
love that this trade happens while they're on a road trip, because that's where the bonding happens. They'll all tell you that's where the bonding happens, is when you're out on the road, because you're stuck with each other. So I love that he's going to now not only get more comfortable with Nico and Siegenthaler and Schmid, all being Swiss-born players, but he'll also get to spend more time with the rest of the team.
Now, there was a trade that happened after, before, depending on what your perception of time is in the NHL, that I thought was a little bit more ridiculous when it came to asking price. And that was the Tampa Bay Lightning receiving Tanner Janot Janot, whatever the fuck his name is.
Janot.
Yeah, from the Nashville Predators for, okay, everybody get your pens and pencils ready.
I
There
don't
will
have
be a
enough
quiz.
lead in any pencil I have here.
There will be a quiz on the return for this. Cal Foote, defenseman prospect, son of Adam Foote, correct?
Yes.
That's the guy.
And let's go list the draft picks. A 2023 fifth round, 2023 fourth round, 2023 third round, 2024 second round, and a 2025 first round pick. All that assets for one fucking guy who's going to be your third or fourth line wing.
Got 5 goals this season.
Wow. Wowzers.
I mean, I guess I'm not familiar enough with him. He seems to have some penalty minutes. I'm guessing he's a gritty guy, and maybe that's the
I think he
premium
had 24 goals
that Tampa's putting on it.
But this year he's kind of shitting that bed. But everybody's trying to make this out to be like this was the greatest Tampa move ever, right? They get that guy who's going to be in your third line. It was going to be just a nightmare to play against.
Tom literally only listened to Phil Esposito today.
He's not.
He was using his hand motions
to play against any team this year except the 5 goals he has scored. But that return was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
That's a general manager going, well, I don't care about these picks. I'm not going to be around when they're made.
100%.
It's like an entire draft, like spread out over some years, but it's like every pick in a draft.
It's mind-numbing how Tampa did that, why they would do that.
And to recap, the Tampa, after all this, their first pick is the 6th round this year, the 3rd round in 2024, and then they amazingly have a round 2 and 3 pick in 2025. So for the next 2 years, their draft capital is pretty much shit.
I see where they're saving money. They're going to lay off their entire amateur scouting staff.
Yeah.
At this point, you don't need them.
Okay.
Here is where I'm going to tell you that none of that shit means anything. You know why? Like we always say, any contract in the NHL is tradable. Anyone. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. Doesn't matter how much your money you're making. Any contract is tradable.
Tell Ron Hextall.
If the Tampa Bay Lightning happen to shit the bed next year, they clean house. And they get all of that draft capital plus then some back.
What do you mean they clean house?
Okay, you trade Kucherov, you trade Vasilevsky, you trade your top 3 stars. You keep some point.
They don't have no move clause.
Well, I'm sure they do, but if they're shitting the bed, they want another run. They want to move on. It's time to rebuild all that shit because Tampa's not a big market team, right?
But tax-free living in Florida is such a
Listen, I get all that. Is it worth more than going for another cup?
Well,
I think in this day and age, it doesn't matter what you give away, and Tampa has obviously proved that because you will get it all back and then some if you need to start the rebuild and get rid of your stars. But I don't think they're going to shit the bed for another couple of years.
No, so, they got a couple of years left.
No, it's not like they're the Penguins. Oh, sorry, Bill.
One other team that made some other trade, Toronto traded a bunch of picks as well. And if you look at their team, it's This is a win now mode team.
Which one are we talking about? Because they had two, one today and one last week that involved Ryan O'Reilly.
No, today's move, I think he's talking
Well,
about.
listen, the Ryan O'Reilly deal, Toronto gave up a 2023 first,
right?
a 2023 third, and a 2024 second. In
Yeah,
today's
yeah.
to Chicago, they gave up a conditional 25 first rounder and a 26 second. We're in 26 draft.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So this is them just throwing all caution to the wind because they've traded a first, a second, another first, another second for in the last, 10 days for a couple players, right? Now, if bear with me for a second, right? They have one first round pick in 2024. They don't have a first or second in 2023, 2025. What'd you say? 2026. They don't have a second or
2026,
something.
they don't have a second.
Yeah,
I mean,
26.
they're missing a third and a couple fourths. I mean, they have very little draft capital. They literally have 4 picks in the top 4 rounds in the next 3 years. And then what makes this really interesting, if you look at their team, they have this year coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 UFAs. And then if you look at their forwards, then the year after that, that's Austin Matthews comes off the board as UFA, William Nylander. I mean, there's no RFAs on all of their forwards.
They're all
of them.
UFAs.
They're all UFAs, and they're all off the board with Tavares and Mitch Marner in the year after. So I mean,
so in
it's
2
kinda
years, their
crazy.
top 4 players.
Well, it's in 3 years. Yeah, 2 more years. Yeah, so 2 more years.
But in back-to-back
Right.
years, they're going to lose those top. Well, those top 4 are going to be coming up.
Right. I mean, who knows?
I mean, you got to think Tavares probably is going to be the end of the run.
Who knows?
I don't think they're going to get rid of
knows?
Matthews. I think he'll be re-signed for sure.
Right. And Marner
But-
as well.
But they are all.
Nylander was
in.
always the odd man out there.
Nylander was always the odd
Yeah.
man out for sure. I couldn't agree with that more.
What are the odds the Stanley Cup winner comes from the Eastern Conference?
Oh, I
50-50.
Bill, being the math guy, you're 100% correct.
what the
Not where I was going with the question.
What is the
Exactly.
likelihood of the Stanley Cup winner
Thank
coming out of the East?
Thank you, Tom.
I'm going to go probably 90%.
90%? Yeah, I would think it's got to be 80, 85, 90%.
Who are the top teams in the West?
Unless they just kill each other.
Give me the top teams in the West.
Dallas,
Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Seriously.
Winnipeg,
Vegas?
No, I said give me
Vegas?
the top team in the West.
Winnipeg,
It's Colorado. So
Edmonton.
Colorado's about the only team you have to worry about, and they got to stay healthy.
And they don't have Makar. Makar might
Well,
be out for.
But Nick, calm down. They just traded for Jack Johnson.
Oh yeah.
So they're in really good shape.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
Tom's not upset that McCarr is hurt.
No. It's all about the show. It's all about the show, McCarr. So I couldn't believe that the Capitals gave up what they gave up. It's shocking when you look at it on paper and say, okay, they're out of it. They're not going to go for it. But does this open up cap space for them to do something else? And maybe a Chikrin, maybe somebody else to come in and play and they could trade for before Friday?
I mean, they could send Tom Wilson up to New Jersey and open up even more space.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I just don't see that happening.
I mean, absolutely. Anything is possible, right? If they even, and Chikrin is a player that's not just going to be for this run,
Right.
this playoffs. That's a long-term change. So to move Orlov and replace him with Chikrin, it's a great move.
Is it though? But Orlov was playing well.
Yeah,
Orlov came up in the Capital system. I don't know.
Chikrin has been doing it year in and year out.
Yeah,
on
for Arizona,
Arizona.
small market. Yeah, I get it.
On Arizona.
But how often do those small market guys go to big market cities and perform?
It's Washington. It's not that big.
But it's a big market.
It's the talent around that's going to make all the difference. It's got nothing to do with the market.
So he's
The
just got to
talent
pass it to
around
Ovechkin on the
him.
power play, and then he's going to get points and make money. Is that what
Just
you're saying?
just
That works.
Ovechkin's back foot in the circle, let him slap shot at home. That's all you got to do.
I did think though the trade besides Boston getting ridiculously stronger.
Yeah, I don't.
There was I can't even find it now. What the hell is it? It was the trade with the Winnipeg Jets getting Nino Niederreiter
From Nashville,
Yep,
yeah.
from
Nashville.
Oh, there it is. I thought, man, does he just fit right in with what Winnipeg is doing?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Nice solid pickup. Very
Yeah.
nice solid pickup.
Very, very nice, solid pickup. So look, what do you think is gonna? So ESPN's gonna have what? 4 hours of
4 hours.
televised,
4
trade
hours.
content.
I think they're just picking up TSN's coverage.
Well, no, the last hour, I think they're gonna do the point or do
Yeah,
like
that's-
Richard Gross is gonna host. But man, from 1 to 4, all the trades have happened already.
No,
So
I
they're
mean,
gonna have a
there's
shit
still-
ton to talk about for sure.
It's going to be all depth moves. And you know, as well as anybody, the depth moves are the ones that tend to make the biggest difference come playoff time.
But Chikrin is definitely the hottest commodity out there, especially on defense. Now that
He is, yeah.
now that Carlson is not being traded, or at least that's what they said, right? So Chikrin is definitely the one to get out there for sure. And then you got other teams doing fucking cap gymnastics, trying to accrue so much as much money as they possibly can that they bench 2 people and not play them during the game.
Who would do that?
What fucking ridiculous team would do that? All right, is there any other trades that we should?
Bill,
mention?
anything to report? Fougere?
Very,
Bueller.
very funny.
Bueller.
Very funny.
Poor little guy.
You know, I mean, yeah, we can just, you guys keep kicking. I'm just down here, you know,
I'm in.
just keep kicking.
I think we've
I
been
I
waiting.
must
I
have
think we've
done
been
something
waiting
awful to
about
deserve
12 years to do this. So we'll enjoy it now.
But listen, they're still in a playoff position as of tonight. All right, let's go take a ride in the Metro. Sponsored by Nestle Quick. Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
And we are going to start in New York with the Rangers.
What?
I know it has been such a rough week for the New York Rangers.
Fuck yeah.
So let's review the Rangers week, shall we? So they start off last Monday with a hot goalie in Hellebuck, and they lose 4-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. Then they trade Julien Gauthier to the Ottawa Senators. The Kane rumors start to go bananas, and you see the Cap Olympics going on. You sit Kravtsov and Jake Lecision during games to occur or to waive them and not have them part of the lineup to try and accrue as much cap space as you can, as well as to not get them injured, so you can send them down when the time is right or trade them when the time is right. And really, everybody thought that Kravtsov was going to be part of this deal. I even thought that myself. But anyway, they get smacked in Detroit by the Red Wings, another 4-1 score. They trade Kravtsov to Vancouver for a bag of pucks. Then they play an afternoon game in Washington, get smacked by the Capitals 6-3. They release Jake Lecision. They do an emergency recall for Ryan Carpenter because they would have been short too many players, and they have to have a certain amount of players in order to play. They sit Carpenter and Schneider so they could be sent down and play a little bit more cap Olympics. They play a good, solid game versus the LA Kings and really come together and finally play a good defensive game. And they beat the LA Kings 5-2. And then they send Braden Schneider to the AHL directly after the game. But during the game, Keandre Miller spits on Drew Doughty.
Accidentally.
Well, listen.
Yeah,
exactly. I've seen the video.
If you
I've
believe accidentally, you're
angles,
an idiot.
And if you think that was on accident, I got to tell you, it probably wasn't. And I am not the biggest Drew Doughty fan. If you didn't know that, going back to well before the Kings beat the Rangers in the Cup, but I've never been a big Drew Doughty fan. I've always thought he was more of a piece of shit. So having this couldn't have happened to a better guy. But last year in the playoffs, and somebody brought this up on Twitter with video, during the playoffs, Steven Stamkos, during a tussle in the Eastern Conference Final, spit on, and you can see it, and it happened in front of two officials. He spit on Alexei Lafreniere and didn't even get a penalty for it. Didn't even get a talking to for it. So what makes this different than what happened in the playoffs?
Are you gonna? I mean, you sound like a Rangers fan. You're gonna try to go.
Oh,
find
I'm gonna bitch and moan about this because
consistency.
we're gonna lose him for 3 games, probably 3 games. That seems to be the standard issue for spitting on a guy.
Unless it's Steven Stamkos in the playoffs, and
unless it's Steven Stamkos in the playoffs, 1,000%.
There's no consistency. There's no 1,000%. Yeah, and yeah, you could undo anything in the NHL. You could cite a precedent that where they fucked it up because they always do. So I mean, what does it actually deserve? I guess is really the question.
It's good. It deserves and is going to get a 3-game suspension. That's what the last one in 2018, I think Garnet Hathaway was the last guy to spit on somebody. And before that, it was in the early 2000s where somebody spit on somebody else and then got 3 games. So I think the precedent has been set that it's going to be 3 games, regardless if he makes a public fucking apology, which he did already today, regardless if he makes a public apology or not. But I applaud you, Keandre Miller. Thank you for doing what every Ranger fan has been wanting to do since 2014. We really appreciate you, kid. But listen, it wasn't a rough week, and you know the games in which they lost. You look at that Winnipeg game; they just looked like they were gassed. And the game in Detroit, it just looked like it was a lack of effort more than anything else, and that's been a really big problem during this entire season. Is there has been some weeks, some games where they have just completely fucking checked out and don't decide to show any effort. When you show effort like you do against the LA Kings on a Sunday afternoon game, you're going to win more games than you lose. Trust me on that, especially with the fucking talent that's on this team. It really pisses me off when I see Goudreau barely back check, and even Panarin, I'm going to call him out too. It's really disheartening when you see those guys not back check hard or skate or play the way they need to play in order to win these games. And I pray to God that these last 25 games or so, they're gonna start to turn it on and just play every game 1,000 miles an hour like they're supposed to. So the big talk has been Patrick Kane coming to the Rangers.
What? I hadn't heard.
I know. And listen, this has been, I have been wet dreaming about this for the past 1.5 years. And it looks like it's finally going to come to fruition, probably as early as Wednesday. He holds all the cards. I'm very interested to see what that fucking return or lack thereof is going to look like back to Chicago. And whoever is going to broker the additional 50% of the 50% retained. But a little thing on Patrick Kane. All right. I think Ranger fans got to accept something. We are not getting Patrick Kane from 2015, 2016 when he won the Hart Trophy. or even, the year after that when he was still a dominant player, or a couple years ago when he played with DeBrincat. We're getting a player that has tremendous chemistry with your superstar, and we're hoping to rekindle a little bit of that. You're bringing in a guy who has 3 cups, and you're bringing in a locker room presence. You're bringing in a guy who's going to make your attack a little bit more balanced. I could even say that Patrick Kane fits better with Kreider and Zibanejad than he does with Trocheck and Panarin. For the simple fact is, Panarin and Kane, to me, they're the same type of player. But I think Zibanejad and Kreider kind of need that passer, that superstar passer on their wing. And I don't think Tarasenko is that guy to be on their right side as a mainstay. I think he fits better with Panarin, but we're going to see how it all plays out. There is some negatives to all of this Patrick Kane talk too, right? There's the cap circus that we have seen over the past week. That's finally going to fucking come to an end. His age, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He is certainly getting up there in age, and like with all old people, Steve, you got a hip problem, right? How's your hip? You're the oldest out of all of us.
Fuck you.
Don't feel so good, does it?
And then, so
oh, man.
You're just hoping that you get a guy who's going to come in here with a lot of fucking motivation to get another cup and to play with Panarin for one last chance in his career, and to make it work in New York. That's what you're hoping for. Don't expect a guy who's going to score 50 goals or win the Hart Trophy. That's not who we're trading for. That's not who you should expect. So I think the Ranger fans need to temper their expectations a little bit about who they're getting. You're getting a superstar in Patrick Kane, yes, but you're not getting the Patrick Kane from 5 years ago. You're getting today's Patrick Kane. And I think that everybody just needs to temper their expectations a little bit. And I'm the fucking first one that needs to do it, because I have been fucking wanting this for 2 years now. And the first even thought of watching Panarin and Kane play, on the same line every night, I'm all in. I'm all in. And it seems like Drury is too. So hopefully we will see that on Wednesday. It seems to be the day that is the earliest where the Rangers can save enough cap space in order to make the transaction happen and still have Braden Schneider in the lineup. So that will happen hopefully at Philly on Wednesday night at 7:30. And then they got a date with the Ottawa Senators, and that's everybody. If Steven, take $10 and put it on a Gauthier goal. It's a fucking guarantee it's going to happen. And then they got a date on Saturday afternoon with the Boston Bruins. This is going to be another big test with this revamped New York Ranger lineup that you're going to see. This is the playoff lineup. This is who we are. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see these first 3 games to gel. And then they got some time to practice after that. What's your problem?
No, nothing. I didn't say anything.
What's your fucking problem?
I didn't say anything.
I will mute you during your entire segment. All right, Billy. Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
Is there anything left to say that you haven't said all year?
I hate to bring the show down, guys. I see.
I tried
Tom
to make you go first. I really
Coke.
did. I swear I tried to make you go first.
Tom's like on Coke. Steve's all excited about Timo, and yeah, then there's me, and yeah. Well, look. Hey, the Penguins 2-game winning streak. I guess I'm excited. Sure. Why not? So after we spoke last week, they a game that I talked about last week, they blew another lead, lost to the Islanders. They're just not a big game team this season. Then they were going to go play Edmonton, and I just they got creamed by Edmonton. But let me just say, this is not. There was not an indication that things are snowballing on them. The Penguins could be the hottest team in the league, or they could be playing shittier than shit. And when they go to play Edmonton, they're going to lose by 3+ goals either fucking way. It doesn't matter how they're playing going into the game. Edmonton owns them big. So I didn't even regard that as anything. Yes, they got blown out. If you didn't expect that by now, I don't know what to tell you. So yes, Edmonton blew them out. And then they go on with life. So big move for the Penguins was after that game, releasing Kasperi Kapanen and putting him on waivers. And lo and behold, the St. Louis Blues picked him up, took that salary off our hands. So thank you to the Blues for that act of charity. And I think it happened because Kapanen scored half of his goals this season against the Blues in one game. So they must have been like, they must have just saw this name come up on waivers and like, hey, didn't this guy have a really good fucking game when he played against us? So they picked him up after he scored a hat trick against them earlier this season. Then the Penguins were playing the Blues next. What a coincidence. Kapanen didn't play because he was the only guy associated with both of those organizations who wasn't in, traveling with the team that day or in St. Louis. So he couldn't get there on time to play in that game. So the Penguins actually played one of their best games in a long time in St. Louis. They really, they played that with that consistent effort for 60 minutes that they've been missing for so long. They did have to go to overtime to win that game. To win that game, Tristan Jarry gave up 2 goals, but deserved kind of a better fate in that one. Both of the goals that were scored in that game against Jarry were not on him. Pavel Buchnevich redirected a shot, clear high stick, but they don't call that. If they call it a goal on a high stick and the guy wasn't within like 2 feet of the net so that they can figure out whether it was above the crossbar or not, you could see, his blade was obviously like above his shoulder. It was obviously a high stick, but they couldn't, there's no angle that shows it or whatever. So they call it a goal. Bullshit. But
it really hurts when a player high sticks and scores a goal like fucking Gensel in the playoffs last year, doesn't it?
Who?
Did you guys win that series? Did the Rangers win that series?
We did.
Shut the fuck up. All right. So there was that goal, and then the second goal that the St. Louis scored on that night, Chris Letang was pretty much sitting on Jarry. It was not his fault. It was a scramble out in front. So Jarry. So what I was taking away from that game is that Jarry was kind of back on his game. Penguins did manage to win that one in overtime. Excuse me. And they're back on the winning track. And then they go to play the Lightning in the game that they played last night. And they came up with a 6-goal second period that just exploded. The Lightning obviously weren't into it. They just were not that into being in Pittsburgh yesterday. The Penguins did get the benefit of getting the go-ahead goal on a bad call by the referees, who Penguins clearly iced the puck while they were on the power play. The referees ignored it. Penguins scored quickly thereafter, and then piled on for a 7-3 win. Jarry was the backup in that game. It was back-to-back nights, so he didn't play. And so now the Penguins have that little bit of cap space that they created with Kapanen, like $3 million plus or whatever that is, and so now they're thinking again, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to maybe try to bolster their third line, which their third line has stunk? Their third line is brutal this season, because it's been Carter, Kapanen, and Heinen or Danton. Danton, Heinen, or McGinn on that line. The production's been really poor, but not only are they not scoring, they're just not hard to play against either. So, Hextall had a press conference the other day, and somebody was asking him about the play of Carter and how he's been disappointing this year. And Hextall, made sure to emphasize that Carter's good on faceoffs. He's a good right-hander on faceoffs. He's good at the PK. And yeah, I get all that, but he's obviously he's overpaid and not productive as a third line center. If you want to say maybe he's a fourth line guy, yeah, okay, I could accept that he could do some of that stuff, but again, he's still too expensive for that role. But at any rate, they have that little bit of cap space now. We'll see if they do something to try to address the third line, or I think more importantly, and I'm shocked that it hasn't been called out as such. I mean, they really do need to address the goaltending, because after today, it's 23 games in 45 days, so one game every other day to finish the season. So the Penguins have had this perceived benefit of having the games in hand. Well, the flip side of that is they're going to play more hockey than a lot of other teams right now down the stretch, and they're going to have to be sharp every other night. And again, Jari, who missed almost 2 months with a mystery ailment, I'm certainly not convinced that he's going to be around and able to play, 18 of those games. I don't think so. I do think that they're going to come against get into some big games where they really, really need him, that he's not going to play. So I'd like to see them take whatever cap space they have. And yeah, if you could get two guys, great. But if you can only do one thing, go get a goalie, because even if Jari's healthy, you need somebody better than DeSmith to pick up some of that slack. And if Jari's not healthy, which is what I suspect is going to happen, then you're going to need somebody to turn to that's going to be your guy if you're really thinking about making a playoff run. So we'll see what happens by Friday.
Yes, we will. And look, the Devils had a nice week, keeping pace with the Carolina Hurricanes.
They absolutely did. It was a 2-1 week. Started it off with a loss against Montreal, which was very upsetting, except for the fact that Montreal had a brick wall in net, which I think is cheating, but the league didn't think so. He was outstanding in net. 39 shots on goal. Yeah, 39 shots on goal. He only let up 2. Devils lost that game 5-2. Montreal only had 18 shots on net. But the story came out after the game. Apparently the virus, there was a virus running through the team as they were sick. So,
there had to be, of course, right?
Yeah. So a lot of players got IVs, and by Thursday they were healthy, down in the Kings 4-3 in overtime. Again, not a 60-minute effort. They go into the third down 2-1, tied in the third, go down 3-2, tied again in the last minute. A beautiful Jack Hughes pass, intentionally, just ticking it off of Nico Hischier's stick for the tying goal, and then they win it in overtime. They are 14-0-1 against the Pacific Division this year. So I think they should be Pacific Division champs. 21st comeback win of the season, 9th overtime win of the season, both leading the NHL. And that took us to Saturday night, the 2003 Stanley Cup champion team. They were honoring them at the game. So it was great to see a lot of those guys back in the building. Nice pregame ceremony. Came out, pretty even against the Flyers during the first period. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of feeling each other out. But once the second period started, the shit kicking began. 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 7 different players scoring. Schmid got his first shutout. And player of the week this week is Dawson Mercer, who is on a 6-game goal scoring streak, 8 goals in 6 games, 3 assists over that span again, 11 points. He's up to 19 goals in the season. And on Saturday, he played in his 141st consecutive game to start his career, which broke Scott Gomez's record of 140. And it was pretty cool because the 2003 team was there. Scott Gomez was in the building to kind of help pass the torch on to Dawson Mercer. And that took us to Sunday and the Timo Meier trade, which we've already spoken at length on, so I won't really go into much detail on. I just want to thank Amanda Stein for asking the hard question to Lindy Ruff today. She was able to get the coach to divulge that Timo Meier will be playing on either Jack Hughes' line or Nico Heischer's line.
Shut up.
Exactly. So for all of you wondering out there, that answer has been set. Timo's listed a day today. Again, I don't think we're going to see him on Wednesday, probably Friday, more likely Sunday. Wednesday at Colorado, Friday at Las Vegas, Sunday at Arizona this week.
The surprising team of the week, your New York Islanders.
Wow.
How did we do a role reversal here, Tom, with the Rangers and Islanders this week? It's bizarre to me.
Billy should have been leading off. Let's call it. Let's call it.
Right.
But he wasn't. You did.
Yeah.
But I did because we had to shit the bed and give no effort this week.
But you did.
Well, whatever. We got through it. So, yeah, this has been an interesting week. With Barzal out indefinitely, who knows when he'll be back? Likely not until late March, if into April, seemingly. Hopefully it happens sooner. But Isles are in a pickle here. I said last week I thought they were kind of done. This week we go 3-1. So I mean, I don't know what to do here because this does exactly what I was hoping the Isles wouldn't do, which is, give me hope that there's actually a chance we can make the playoffs and make some noise. But the problem is they're just gonna let me down as soon as we either do nothing, stand pat at the trade deadline, or try to make some move to get some rental or whatever. Who knows? I mean, realistically at this point, Isles they definitely could use another scoring, something up front. One more player with Barzy out by the time he comes back would, help keep, get that enough of that scoring punch of a 1-2 on the top two lines to really be able to do something in the playoffs, because that's what they really, really need. And then just hoping that the defense gets their shit together, which I'll talk about as I go here.
What if Kane said, no, I want to go to New York, but I want to go to the Islanders?
No, he wouldn't have said that. What was actually reported was that Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts, Steve can do it, I can do it. He said that it was interesting that Kapanen got picked up by St. Louis, and he was just kind of curious if the Islanders put in a waiver claim for Kapanen as well. Not sure that would have been the move you were hoping for, but at least it would have been somebody to kind of fill in one of those top six spots.
I think that's kind of the idea there.
No, it wouldn't.
But
you would have been so much better on the Islanders, Bill.
I'd wait and see that one. I just would not assume that, to be
perfectly
honest.
Listen, it's a move that would have cost them nothing.
Yep. So this week was interesting. The first game of the week is in Pittsburgh, a 4-2 win. This was the all Sorokin show. Bill didn't really cover too well because he probably tried to blank it out of his mind. Penguins had 19 shots in the first period, only one goal. Just bombarding the Islanders. Somehow the Islanders were able to get a couple goals to keep it close, and both opportunistic goals. And then they got that third goal, similar kind of deal, just off the rush or off of a forecheck, and just somehow pulled out this game. And they really had no business winning this game, and they did. And you're like, well, this is a Trotz kind of win where they would just get outshot. Sorokin made 44 saves on a with 2 goals. I mean, come on, man, kind of crazy. Just put them on their back. And then next game we had a win over Winnipeg at home. Three posts by the Winnipeg in this game, so it wasn't like a super sharp game by Sorokin. He got beat a few times that didn't make it in. But we've had some pretty good luck with the combination of Zizekas and Fasching on the fourth line. With Clutterbuck out, Fasching has really kind of stepped into that role, and he's been showing some pretty good aptitude, good hockey IQ, knowing when to be, where to be, forecheck, where to, hustle. He's doing a lot of stuff you need on a fourth line, and they've been given that line a bit of a push with Clutterbuck basically out for probably who knows how long. With Martin, they've moved Martin up to the first line in some of these games just to put somebody up with Horvat, Bailey, Holmstrom. They're just trying different things out. And basically, we had Holmstrom scored the winning goal. We had another guy from Bridgeport, Arnaud Durandu, quite the name. Yeah, right. He's been played all this week. He actually had a lot of minutes in the last three of the 4 games this week. Played pretty well. But we've had quite a few injuries up front. So it's, with Barzal, Pajot, Clutterbuck, Wahlstrom all out. And Clutterbuck and Wahlstrom probably not coming back this season. Maybe Clutterbuck does. It's unknown if Pajot and Barzal at this point too. So we've had this whole, rotating cast of characters from Bridgeport. They somehow win that game. And then we get home against the Kings, and not a lot of offense. Kings really shut them down. One of the first goal is a Romanov own goal. Just kind of like try to knock it out of the air, and it went over Sorokin's shoulder and in. But to be honest, you can't really win with only 18 shots on goal in the game. They were playing dump and chase the whole game. They didn't have somebody to really bring the puck in the zone. And that really, without Barzal here, was a big notable difference with, how they normally are able to try and mix up a little bit. But they had a real rough time in this game. And then they played one more time over in Winnipeg and had one of the better games of the year for themselves, and a 4-0 shutout by Varley, 23 saves, with a goal that the first goal of the game was actually overturned. Lee had a high stick deflection, definitely over the bar, and then they still managed to just kind of pour it on, and especially early, they had a shit ton of shots in the first period.
They overturned a high stick goal.
Yeah.
No, Bill said they don't do that.
I'm shocked.
But did they call it a high stick goal initially? Was that the initial call? Was high stick?
It was called a goal, and they reversed it.
Oh,
it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear.
It must have been close to the net.
Kings game too, when it was.
The guy was up in the second deck when he knocked it down, so it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, but he had his stick at his waist.
Right.
Yeah. So Isles poured it on early. Varley shut the door in this game. Bo Horvat has been very good, especially in this game. He was all over the ice, making plays. He's had a number of goals this week. I didn't count them, but he's been great, man. He's been really that solid first line player, man. And
everybody's trading for great players. I'm so happy for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, in the flip side, Anthony Beauvillier has been playing really well for Vancouver. They've had about the same amount of points through, so it's all early game, and we'll see how that trade pans out over the next year. But I'm really happy with how Horvat's played. He's looking really good. And it would be great if we had Barzy back, and like I said, one more guy would potentially give them enough firepower to steal some wins with Sorokin and Varlamov. And you still need the defense to actually play defense. Ryan Pulak and oh man, it's gonna blank, of course, because my brain. Dobson have been playing pretty horrendous defense. Dobson's been great offensively, but man, he's had a bad year. I don't know if it's the changing coach or just focus, but man, he had a couple plays where he just 2-on-1 and not playing the puck is like a simple thing. The indecision to just let the goalie, play that play. Pulak's made a lot of errors this year, and he hasn't looked that good. Not sure what's going on with him as well, but if those two can tighten up their game for the playoffs, and you get some one more goal score, Barzal comes back, maybe they can make it. But again, they're giving me hope, and it's not the right time. They're gonna blow it. They're gonna fucking blow it. I just there's the number of games that the Isles have in hand right now will come down this week. Quite a few. In the next couple of weeks, they'll start to really dwindle and get to that point where I think you'll start to see the standings normalize a little bit, because we're still up a number of games on the rest of the wild card, or teams in the division, I should say, for the wild card. And yeah, that's kind of the Isles this week. And they only have 2 games next week, so pretty light schedule. I forget which games they were. They are
not a light opponents though either.
At Minnesota and then against Detroit at home, followed up by Buffalo at home. The following, I mean, we're in that it's gonna be it's Detroit, Buffalo, to Pittsburgh, Washington, all teams that are in the hunt. Those next few games. So it's important time. You got to win these games, and it'd be interesting to watch. But there's only, let's see, I think it's 1, 2, only 2 more back-to-backs the rest of the season. So, if you were like, if Lou said, you know what, screw it, we're gonna trade Varley and go try to get somebody's, to get somebody, some forward or something. You can make that happen with Sorokin and somebody else. I mean, you could ride him the rest of the way, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think you have to keep him.
Miles Wood for Varlamov, 1-for-1. I think he's a Lou draft pick.
Yeah, it could happen, something like that. But
no one can't. No one can't. That can't happen. Shut up! No.
I think what'll happen is that Lou's going to look at it and say, goalie's the best spot thing we have. The tandem's too good.
We'll throw in Travis Zajac and Andy Green again.
Ooh,
we'll give them back.
Now we're talking. Ooh, we got a jump.
All right, now
we got a big show on that one.
The Metro train just broke. My goodness. All right, so before we get to another segment, something just happened in the NHL. Not every time that I make preseason predictions, they come true. This one actually came true. Before the season, we were talking about 50 goal scorers. I said Connor McDavid's going to score 50 this year to cement himself as a great hockey player. Not that he wasn't already, but a true great hockey goal scorer, scores 50 in a season, and he did that tonight. 50 goals in 61 games for Connor McDavid.
You predicted half of the league was going to score 50 goals.
I did not predict half the league. I think I predicted 3 guys were going to score 50 this year, and one of them was not Pasternak.
You had Austin Matthews scoring 60 something.
How many has he got? He's got 80 already, doesn't he? No. I said not every one of my predictions comes true, but Jesus Christ, man, he's a beast. He's a free agent after the 25 season too. Is he going to get there? Is he going to get to free agency?
No chance.
You don't think he'll get the free agency?
No way.
Yeah, I think he'll be traded out of Edmonton before he hits free agency. I don't think
to LA.
I don't think.
Do you think they're going to trade him to LA?
I just don't
with
think
Marty McSorley.
I just
don't.
I promised Draisaitl I wouldn't do this.
If they can't make
Leon, I wouldn't do this.
Listen, if they can't get hit in this, if they can't make something happen, like
he ain't going nowhere.
You'd be crazy not to trade him.
He's too big for Edmonton, and Edmonton's not going to win for him.
Yeah.
Edmonton's not going to surround him with the people that he needs.
Teams would trade so many picks that their next first round pick hasn't even been born yet.
Oh, this would be like fucking. This would be like Ditka trading for Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question about it. I would trade the entire draft for fucking Connor McDavid.
You would have to trade a decade's worth of drafts.
You could have, and as deep as next year's draft is, you could have them all. Every single one of those fucking draft picks together is not even close to a Connor McDavid. Have them all. Take them all.
I don't think he ever gets there.
Hey, Gretzky got traded.
No, listen, everybody can get traded for sure.
He can get traded.
Okay.
And now it's time for trivia with Bill. Yeah.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Today's question: what was the first NHL team to win back-to-back Stanley Cup titles?
Detroit Red Wings.
No.
Nope.
Seattle Kraken.
No, this is like second season, and no, they didn't win it. No, it's not them.
Tom's favorite New York Icelanders.
No, they were not.
They won 4 straight, Bill.
The Vancouver.
They were not the first to win back-to-back. The Vancouver Millionaires. They were on the multiple choice list.
Shut up.
Incorrect.
They didn't even know who they were to put them on the fucking multiple choice.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Ooh, good one, Nick.
No, that was not
solid.
They recently did that. They were the
Most
last
recent, yeah.
back-to-back winners.
Oh.
But no, not the first.
Ooh,
The
I'm
Boston-
guessing it's going to be one of those original 6 teams that he often mentions.
Whoa. It was the original 7, Steve.
Right.
It's no, he was
Jesus
correct.
Christ.
The first time was original 6. I checked the
Thank
math.
God I stopped you.
It's original 6.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
No,
It was the Boston Braves.
no
Boston Celtics.
baseball. No, let's stick to hockey teams.
I'm
Hockey
sorry,
teams.
the
will win
Atlanta,
the
the
Stanley
Atlanta
Cup.
Flames.
No,
Calgary
Yeah,
Flames.
nope. No.
Thrashers.
No.
Ooh, good one, Nick.
Hartford
not a
Whalers.
team from Atlanta.
California
No, they
Golden
were-
Seals.
No.
Hartford, the Whale.
Dallas Stars.
Well.
You guys are naming a lot of teams that weren't even around when this happened. To
Oh,
be
well, then
honest,
it's the
but,
Kansas City Scouts then.
No,
Colorado
older than
Rockies,
that.
not the
Older than
baseball
that.
team.
No, not the baseball.
the hockey team.
We don't want to
No,
confuse anybody.
the Colorado Rockies didn't win any cups.
Did you say Colorado Rockies? Was there
I
a double?
might
Did
have.
you say
Waka
Rockies?
waka waka wakas.
You wascally wabbit.
He
The
so rarely messes up
Colorado-
his speech. It's awesome when he does. Oh, actually, the Devils
Oh.
play in Colorado. On
Was it the
Are they
Willy
playing the
Wonkas?
Rockies? Are they playing the Rockies?
Oh, poor Billy.
That where Shane Gussis' spear?
Oh, poor
Please.
Billy.
He's got more
Uh,
than 3 syllables in his last name, Bill.
Fuck him. Can't.
The
stand people.
Arizona Coyotes,
No.
Toronto Marlies.
No.
the Vegas Golden Knights.
No.
Jeez, who could it be then?
Charlotte
Multiple
Hornets.
choice?
Not yet.
That's
Are you
just-
kidding? Oh, what the?
Ooh.
The Edmonton Oilers.
No.
They were a powerhouse back in the day. In the late,
I'm almost
in the late
shocked that you haven't.
1900s, they were a powerhouse.
I'm kind of surprised that you haven't thrown out this answer as a goof and hit it on and hit the nail on the head yet.
We're not going to say the other Montreal teams, so don't worry about it. The Montreal Canadiens.
No.
Montreal Expos.
No. Tim Raines though. I think his name's etched on the cup somewhere.
The
And-
Toronto
and
Blue
Rock.
Jays.
Rock Reigns.
No.
To you and me.
For our Raptors.
Oh,
Nope.
wow, really?
Vancouver Grizzlies.
No, that was no. Again, we're going to stick with hockey teams.
That's you.
Damn it, this goof might actually be it. The Ottawa Silver 7.
No, it's not.
Silver 7.
They were a team.
The Ottawa Silver Surfers.
No, that's Marvel. You don't watch Marvel.
I don't. I to be honest with you, as I was saying it, I wasn't even sure if it was a real fucking thing.
That's even better.
But I thought it was. But I thought it could be close. I thought it could be close.
Wow.
You're right. It was close.
The Silverbacks.
The Diamondbacks.
The New York Americans.
Nope.
Friend Thunder.
No.
It's original 6.
What? Would you like the? multiple
Oh,
choice?
it's been the Chicago Cubs.
No.
Wish I could go
1906,
back in
right?
time and put some money down on the Cubbies. All right, give us the multiple choice.
A, New York Rangers.
Did we say
know
that?
that's not it. We know that's not it.
Like,
B, the Vancouver Millionaires. That was Tom's guess.
I was right. It was the
Millionaires.
Millionaires.
He said it was on the list. stupid.
Millionaires.
C, the Ottawa Senators, or D, the Montreal Canadiens.
I already said the Canadians, right? Did I say them? I didn't say
The Senators didn't start playing until the 90s, so I don't think it's them. Right? I mean, Daniel Alfredson and that Radek Bonk.
Are you guessing it or are you saying that you're
Alexander
not guessing
Dake.
it?
I'm gonna say I'm guessing Ottawa Senators.
That's correct.
Fuck
Ding,
you.
ding,
Wow.
ding.
The Ottawa Senators. How
Give me the
about
W.
That? How about that?
And now it's time for impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen of the Friends Ronald's podcast, get ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this tight 45 show. Answer 20 questions power play. Rules are simple. The group has 2 minutes to guess a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated with one of the 4 Friends and Rivals' favorite teams. The group can ask up to 20 questions in rapid fire. Answers only come in the form of yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they hit 20 questions or the power play has expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame for unable to win their children's game. And away we go.
Is this person a player on the Colorado Rockies?
Is this?
No.
Is it Rangers superfan Dancing Larry?
No.
Okay.
Ooh, very topical.
I tried.
Very
Is this
topical.
person associated with the New York Islanders?
No.
This person associated with the New York Rangers?
Yes.
Is this person also associated with the Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
Person
How
associated
about
with the New Jersey Devils?
No.
That was gonna be my question.
Strictly a Ranger.
Strictly a Ranger.
Is this a current player?
No.
Did he win a cup with the Rangers?
No.
Did this player play in the 2000s at all?
No.
Did this player play in the 80s at all?
Yes.
Did he play in the 90s?
No.
Did not play in the 90s?
No.
Ooh, Bill, I might have to defer to you on this one.
Did this player play in the 70s?
Yes.
Was he a
Was
forward?
this-
No.
Was this player a goalie?
Yes.
John Davidson?
Hey, you got it.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah! Come get some!
I think I got to get a big assist on that one in
Yeah.
narrowing it down to
The
goalie.
goalie.
Yeah,
And-
well, we were going to get there. But you
And
did
80s,
definitely assisted.
70s. That worked.
You definitely assisted on the power play for sure.
I mean, more a team. I thought we,
Fuck you.
weren't all
the
about stats.
Phil. It's all about the stats, asshole.
So you
10,
get this,
10 for 15, by the way.
Bill, you get the secondary assist, buddy.
There's only 3 of us. Of course, he's going to get at least the secondary assist.
Shut up. He may not know that.
JD turns 70 today.
Wow.
Happy birthday, JD. And a big
He-
happy birthday to Mike Sullivan, a big number 55 today.
He, along with the rest of them, should be shown the door in Columbus. Is he still with Columbus?
Relax. Yes, he's the president of their operations now after he was unceremoniously fired by the Rangers.
A lot of people dying on the operating table if he's the president of operations.
I
Nick's
fucking
laughing,
hate
by the
you.
way. Nick is
I-
laughing.
Fucking hate you.
It was good. It was good. I hadn't heard that voice in a while.
Thank God. All right, let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
And this one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord 2012. Please go to or as they say, Rocktober
Ooh, Rocktober.
25th of 2012. 2012.
2012.
It's so ironic
Don't you think?
Don't you
that
think?
you pick October 25th
Why is
of
that, buddy?
2012.
Why?
It was my 2700th day on this planet.
Wow. On 27, did you say 2700th?
2700th day on this planet.
You don't say.
It's only a 2679 for me.
Fuck you. Skipped lunch.
What do you no breakfast?
Skip breakfast. Went right to lunch. I met up with a friend at Stuff Your Face, where I enjoyed a meatball bowlie.
Who was the friend?
Russ Corletto,
Huh?
Fellow Devils fan, Russ Corletto, who's probably not a listener to the show. Meatball bowlie, 1 1/2 Coca-Cola Classics for lunch. Dinner was rotisserie chicken, veggies, and mashed potato with a can of Coca-Cola Classic and a brownie for dessert, probably with some milk, because what's better than brownies and milk? Why did you pick October 25th, the 2700th day of my life, 2012?
Just a PSA. Be careful when you put a brownie in the microwave. I hear they get really hot really fast.
Go fuck yourself again.
Really hot really fast. Well, obviously, that was the day.
Obviously.
That in Salisbury, I think that's Connecticut, right?
Fucking starving. We got any Salisbury steak around here?
Fucking Salisbury steak. Fucking starving. A clown was arrested for attempting to solicit sex at a rest area. Police say a nude man who works as a clown. I'm not.
How do you know he's a clown if he's nude?
I'm not sure he was dressed up as a clown at this point in time. Unfortunately,
then it's got nothing to do with the story.
Well, that was his job.
If he's not in the makeup and the big shoes, he's not a clown.
Well, he could have just had the paint and the hair and the shoes, and then everything else was naked.
Shoes on you.
In my fantasy, that's what's going on.
You're not naked if you got shoes on. Police say a nude man who works as a clown and child entertainer was arrested yesterday morning after jumping into a tractor trailer at the Rowley rest stop off of Interstate 95 and soliciting the male driver. According to state police, James Vossolo, 46, of Danvers, surprised the truck driver. Surprise!
And said, come over here and smell my flower, and then cum shot out of it.
Be amazing.
Good night, New Jersey.
I don't think you want to surprise. Like, I don't know if truck drivers are the kind of people you want to surprise with like a gay come on. I don't know.
I don't want to say any more of the story. I can't do any better than that. Steve said with the flower. That's it. There's your story. Good job, Jimmy. Don't forget to follow us on the Twitter at friends_rivals. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We will read them on the air if you want us to. While you're over looking at podcasts, turn on notifications for the Friends of Rivals podcast so you never miss an episode. Billy, say something witty.
What the fuck am I supposed to say now?
How do you follow
after
that?
Steve had you dying for like 10 minutes? I gotta save mine for next week. There's no way.
There's no way.
I give up.
All right, then just sing us out then.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
Not every one from you was a fucking home run. That one was a grand slam, my friend. Well done. Wowzers.
This from the same guy who gave you the director of operations joke.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes you round out the third, but not that one. Whoo, you got a hold of that one. That was fucking that's making the Sports Center's top 10.